Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Speakeasy. I'm your barkeeper, Jeff Belanger, and I'm really glad you're here tonight. Please, by all means, check in, say where you're from, what you're drinking, what are you having with me tonight. Also, tonight's a call-in show, so we're going to be sharing our paranormal stories. I'm going to share one of mine. I hope you share one of yours. The last time I did this, I really enjoyed connecting with you guys. So, in all honesty, my favorite guest ever is tonight because it's you. How you doing? It's Wednesday, halfway through the week, a week that's been kind of weird for me, but also good. You know, a lot of interesting phone calls and stuff, hoping for some work that's going to get going again. And it kind of feels like the world is trying to get back to it. So what about by you? Also, if you guys are watching, share and like and spread the word about the Speakeasy, because the more people we have in here, the more fun it is. And it's always a pleasure to have our friends join us for a drink. So hello, everybody. Hello from Plymouth, Mass. Hello, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Sorry, you've heard that. Rum and Coke in Southern Oregon. Very good, Nancy. Drinking water. That's all right, Jennifer. We need that too. From Barrie, Vermont. Hello, Josh. Hello, Jennifer. Very busy for you too. I get it. I get it. And there's Angie. Hi, buddy. Hi, back to you. So good. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Rhonda. There it is, right? Oh no, I did it. I'm sorry. And the Spooky Sisters over in the UK. Good to see you guys as well. Glad you're there. Tammy here from Michigan. So many folks. Well, cheers to all of you. I'm having a Narragansett, honor of Jaws anniversary and all that. So good stuff. We've got Newfoundland, Canada, wonderful. And Texas is here, and Connecticut, all that good stuff. So I wanted to start tonight, and I'm going to share the call-in number soon, and I want you guys to call, and here's how it works. You call in, but if someone is already on the line, just wait, because I can only do one at a time, and I'm doing everything. I'm directing and producing and switching calls and all that stuff. So that's kind of how it's going to go. So I wanted to share one of my earliest paranormal experiences, really the one that sort of solidified my passion for this. The funny thing is, I had been writing about ghosts and haunted places for years before I actually saw one. I started writing about ghosts in 1996, 97 for a newspaper feature. I interviewed Ed and Lorraine Warren, and then I started working on a project on a place called Dudleytown in Connecticut, this abandoned ghost village. And it was the start of a career that I could have never planned. But then I started ghostvillage.com, my website, in 1999, and I started gathering all these ghost stories from different people. And I thought, this is amazing. I've had weird feelings and weird sensations, but never like a full-on, whoa, that's an apparition. I'd been writing about ghosts now for almost 6 years when I found myself in the city of Paris. And I was on a business trip there for a job I had in another life. And a bunch of my colleagues are like, hey, we're going to the Musée d'Orsay. We're going to the Louvre. You want to go with us? And I said, I'll catch up with you later. I'm going underground. And so I did. So I went down into the Catacombs of Paris. Now, the thing you got to know about Paris is that it dates back almost 2,000 years to when it was a Roman outpost. And over time, they built that outpost into a town and then to a small city. They had all this great limestone to build things with. And so they're getting that limestone together and they're building buildings, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And over time, it turns into a sprawling city. Now, when you build a city, you have to have a place to bury your dead. It's true of all places. So Paris put their cemeteries on the outskirts of town, as they all do. But over centuries, the outskirts just aren't the outskirts anymore. The city grew around those cemeteries and kept growing and growing. And to get to the limestone, they're now tunneling underground and they're pulling it out by the ton. And the buildings are getting heavier and heavier. The streets narrow and dense. And they've tunneled now hundreds of kilometers underneath the city to get more limestone. And by around the 1800s, late 1700s to mid 1800s, they have two big problems. One, there's no more place to bury the dead, and the cemeteries are literally spilling into the streets. And two is that the buildings are collapsing into the hollow ground. So they have to close off these tunnels and empty the cemeteries, which is a universal no-no, right? I mean, it's a taboo, right? You don't disturb a place of the dead, but the living will always take precedent, won't they? Because that's what we do. So Paris makes that difficult decision to close those cemeteries and move the bones below ground. Now, fast forward to 2003, and I'm going down below the city. And it's just me. And I get down, and I know what to expect down there. And I mean, there's graffiti down in these tunnels from like the French underground during World War II, and there's all kinds of stuff going on. And there's it's so quiet, right? You're like 30 meters below the city, and you can just hear like the drip of water coming through the limestone, just like drip, drip, and the gravel under my feet. It's the only sound. It's very quiet. And I'm moving around, and I get to this doorway that says in French, "Stop, this is the Empire of the Dead." And I figure I must have arrived. And as I walk through, I'm greeted by 6 million human skeletons. And there they are. That's just like the first thing you see. And I keep walking through, and there's more and more bones. I mean, they're literally at your fingertips. And I'm walking through these hallways, and there's signs like this one that tell you where the bones came from for, the cemetery of St. John right here. But there's no way to know who's who anymore. It's like 60 generation of Parisians just pushed into one collective voice, because in every cemetery you've ever been in, mostly, right, everybody gets one voice, one headstone, or at least a family stone that tells you where the family was. But in Paris, they were forced into this one collective thing. And I saw crosses made out of human skulls. I saw Valentine hearts like this one. My goodness, right? And I was getting the heebie-jeebies beyond your wildest dreams, just freaking out. And at the same time, I'm thinking like, oh my God, it's so macabre, right? Like macabre, very French word. And it makes sense here. This is the most fitting definition I've ever seen in my life. And I'm down there, and I've just got this extreme case of the willies. And I sort of understand this makes some sense, right? Because the only way they could show some respect for disturbing the dead, right, was to make it sort of beautiful. And they did, right? These retaining walls of leg bones and arm bones, and the way they made intricate patterns and shapes and things like that, they tried to make it sort of beautiful. They tried to give them, if not a voice, they tried to give them a purpose. So I'm walking along down this long, narrow hallway, right past this cross area here. And it's a long straightaway that, I mean, I could stick my fingertips out and be brushing skulls with both fingers. And as I'm walking, I see this shadow the size of a man just step from the right side to the left and go back again. And I just froze. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Now, at this point, I'd interviewed hundreds of people about their ghost experiences. And I always got to the position where I was like, well, I believe that you believe, right? Not in all cases. I think some people were lying to me. But sometimes people were so profoundly moved by what they were saying, I was like, man, I think you saw something. In this moment, a moment I wasn't asking for or planning for, I froze. And I went, what was that? My first thought is, okay, explain it. No one came from behind me because it was this wide. I mean, you would have bumped into me. And then I thought, okay, maybe there's a little side hallway up there and someone is down here with me that I didn't see. And then I keep looking, and no, it's just a long straightaway all the way down. And okay, maybe lighting, a trick of the lighting, but no, the lighting's at my shoulder. It's aiming down. There's no way a little mouse could cast a great big shadow aiming up. The lighting was at the other place. And when it was over, I was left with just one word: ghost, right? Spirit. That's all I can come up with. And in that moment, the hundreds of people I'd interviewed about their experiences, it became so much more real to me in that moment that I was like, oh my God, they weren't asking for it either. It just happened. I was in this place at this time, and it happened. I'll never forget it. I could close my eyes right now, and I could see it again. And I went back a couple of years later. I went back, and I went down to the catacombs, and I'm like, oh, I'm going. And went down and went right to the same spot. And I was like, I'm back. Here I am. Come on back. Nothing. Sometimes lightning does not strike twice. And I think that's how it goes. So I want to hear your stories tonight. I really, really do. And with that, I'm going to open the phone lines and put them up here for you. Again, I'm doing everything myself because that's how it goes. So here's our call-in number, 617-444-9683. If you call it and get through, we're ready. They're open. Great. I want to talk to you. And if you call and it goes right to voicemail, just try back as soon as the caller hangs up. So let's hear from you guys. Share a story. It can be about anything paranormal. Tell me about monsters, ghosts, aliens, UFOs, your sightings, maybe even something profound with family, where you lost a loved one, but had a dream that seemed like more than just a dream. I want to hear about it. Your friends want to hear about it tonight. So go ahead, give us a call and share your story, because that's what it's all about. And some people are saying, brave soul going alone. Yeah, no one would go with me, I think is what it came down to. Yeah, pretty much. Amanda, that's really awesome. Thank you. Thanks. I know you guys have stories too, and you're all getting on the phone right now, wouldn't you? The Sedlak ossuary. Yeah, I'll have to look into that one. I know Italy has some catacombs too that are even more intricate than the ones in Paris. There's like chandeliers made out of human bones and things like that, which is really weird, right? Like I can't imagine being the one that makes that stuff. Pretty strange. Yeah, lots of people checking in. Hello from Milwaukee. Good to see you. John, you don't need to drop some weight to go to Paris. You can just go. Just go, man. It's good. You just go as you are. Be who you are, my man. That's what you do. Oh, Carl, are you going to call in? Let's do it. Do it. Worked it out. I'm ready. Carl's in the UK. He must be up late. Hopefully he's somewhat sober. Cheers, mate. God. Much needed today. It's been hot around here. Greenwood Cemetery in Brooklyn. I've heard that it has catacombs. There's also some catacombs in Boston. Wales and the Welsh checking in. Thank you, Sarah. We've got a lot of people in the UK here tonight. That's good. Laura wants to know about my nephew. Has he expressed interest in the topic yet? Not that I know of. And I am not going to be the one to bring it up because, my sister's in charge of him. Same with my daughter, though. So people have asked, is your daughter way into this stuff? And I leave it to her, right? It's up to her. If she shows interest, by all means, let's go ghost hunting. Let's go do some funky stuff. But if she wants to follow her own path, I more than welcome that. Absolutely. So yeah, come on. Who's going to be the brave first caller? 617-444-9683. Sorrel Weed House in Savannah. Yeah, that's been a good one. We filmed an episode of Ghost Adventures there. That was really cool. And yes, of course, Tammy, we filmed Bobby Mackey's for Ghost Adventures and Waverly Hills. Been to all those. You're going to Bobby Mackey's and Waverly Hills tomorrow? Yeah, they're both in Kentucky, aren't they? Waverly Hills is one of those places that I had my own experience. Amazing place. Tuberculosis sanatorium. And when you walk up, you see these giant, bat wing arms of hospital wings and just all these empty rooms. Truly a spooky place. And when I walked inside, I just remember feeling like, whoa, this place is crowded. And I don't get feelings generally. I'm not psychic or sensitive. Someone just tried to call, but then they missed. Come on, do it again. Do it. Try again. 603. Sometimes there's a misfire. Call right back. So yeah, there's so many great haunts. But between Bobby Mackey's and Waverly, you will have an amazing time, I'm sure. All right, this is from the 603 area code. 603 area code. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hi, Jess. This is Angie from New Hampshire. How are you?
Angie from New Hampshire. I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. How about you?
Yes, wow, I don't have a comeback for that. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Tell me a story, Angie. Tell me what's going on.
Oh, gosh. Which one?
Why, you would know better than me.
I know, but I have so many.
First, tell me your first experience with the weird and paranormal where you said, oh my God, this is not how they taught me the world works.
Oh, thank you. That's a good one.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to go to the haunted Victorian mansion then in Gardner, Massachusetts.
Right on.
I'm going to say the very first experience, a tactile experience,
Okay.
was, for me, I believe in the tactile senses, you know, hearing, seeing, feeling. I walked through a cold spot.
Okay.
Like person height.
Mm-hmm.
So 5'6", 5'7". I walked through someone, or someone walks through me.
And where were you in the building, Angie?
Third floor.
Okay.
Just outside his billiard room.
Okay. And you
So
were walking around?
Just walking around. We were doing a tour, and I stood in the doorway of the billiard room, and just that intense cold feeling.
Wow. And what did you think at that moment?
Cold feeling.
Were you afraid?
No. No, because that was something that I wanted to experience, and it happened.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, oh my, I can't explain that. And yeah, from there, the rest of the night was amazing, and I think I experienced something in every room of that house.
But that's the one that got your attention.
That got my attention, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because face, just, you know, walking through someone.
Yeah. Very
or
cool.
Having someone walk through me. And it's that, I mean, I know you've been there, and it's that spot right outside.
Have you gone back since?
I haven't been back there for a while. I mean, since that experience happened, I had been there maybe 2 or 3 other times.
And did it happen again?
And did it happen again? No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Definitely not.
Very cool. Well, Angie, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing your story about the Victorian. I'm sure some other people here. There's a few Massachusetts people, massholes they call us. They, you knew that though, because you're in New Hampshire.
No.
What's that?
You guys are lovely in Massachusetts.
Well, thank you.
I'm not going to call you a masshole.
We can, because that's us. That's how we roll.
That's right. That's right.
Right. Good stuff. Angie, thank you for calling. Lovely to hear from you.
Yeah, likewise.
All right. You have a great night.
Yep, you too, bud.
All
Take care, everyone.
All right. The phone lines are open again. 617-444-9683. Yeah, see? John's a masshole too. It's not a bad thing. It's what we are. No big deal, right? No big deal. Cool. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you being the first caller. That usually gets things going. And Carl in the UK is just working up the nerve to dial those numbers. Carl, we've hung out. We've talked. You can do this, man. You got this. And I know you got stories because I've heard them. Maybe this is it. Let's see. Hold on. Oh my God. We're taking the UK call. Hold on. +44. That would be the UK. Talk to me. Who's there?
This would be a certain little gentleman called Carl from the UK.
Carl from the UK. Hello, old chap. Carl, if you guys watch, if you listen to the New England Legends podcast, I'm going to tell you guys a quick Carl story. So there's a great story from New Hampshire that we're doing this week in our episode. It's called The Stone Throwing Devil. It comes out tomorrow at noon. And there's a British secretary of the province of New Hampshire that's staying at the house, and he writes in his pamphlet about what he experienced. And so I needed a voice actor who could do a British accent. And I was like, Carl, can you do a British accent? And
well, I thought long and hard, and I thought I could just about pull that off slightly.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Chamberlain.
You nailed it. You nailed it. So you can hear Carl tomorrow on the podcast. Carl, talk to me. Tell me a good ghost story. I know I've heard a bunch from you. So what do you want to share tonight?
Oh, well, I think it goes back to probably when the first time we actually spoke, and that was for the Ghost Adventures episode at Fort Halstead.
Fort Halstead,
That's
right.
Probably my most memorable, scariest physical thing that's ever happened to me over the nearly 20 years of doing this business.
Now let's set this up. Fort Halstead, give us the 2-sentence description. Military fort, go.
Yeah, Napoleonic fort, built 5 of them to protect Chatham Dockyard. Sadly, by the time they were finished building, ammunition was flying further, so they became obsolete.
Right.
Went into World War One, World War Two, and they were a base where anti-aircraft guns were put on top. And Fort Halstead was one of the ones that shot down 9 aircraft on a single day, 9 German aircraft on a single day.
Well done. And so, and you've investigated there a bunch, I remember.
Yeah. It's a location where it calls to me. I don't know why. It just has something. From the moment, the first time, I think I phoned up Fort Halstead and went, "This is the crazy thing. We're paranormal investigators. We would like to come and investigate your fort in the darkness at night. Would you be up for it?" And I spoke to the lovely people there, and they went, "Are you crazy?" And I went, "Well, yeah, probably."
Right. Well, that's besides the point. Right.
We were the first team to investigate it, and it was just literally, because you can't, technically, from what they described the fort as, you can't see it from land or air,
right?
Because of the way it's been built. And it's got like a moat. Then you go into the inner courtyard, and then there's another break, and then it goes into the fortifications, but then they have tunnels going out to the Caponiers and the outer vaults for the gun emplacements.
So tell me about your experience. Tell me what happens when you get in there. It's dark, you're investigating, and what happens?
Well, we were in a particular area which was at the time described as an ammunition lift area, where there's 2 lift shafts, one on either side of the wall, and they brought ammunition up from where it was stored into this location before it went on top of the fort to be used for the guns.
Right.
So we're there. I'm investigating. I've got a couple of people there and a few other people there, and we're doing something. We had a spiritual medium there who was picking up on a young-ish spirit who was playing around and wandering around the group, etc. Then all of a sudden she backed into the corner, and she was like saying, "Oh, he's here." And we were like saying, "Who's here?" Like using various equipment and various different techniques. And it sort of, after a few minutes, it sort of progressed to the point where this spirit was scared of this spirit that was down in the one of the tunnels underneath that comes up to the room.
Right.
Me being young, stupid, and naive, decided, well, okay, let's see what we can do. So I was like sort of saying, well, if you're stop being hiding in the shadows, why don't you come up and prove you're there, in sort of words to that effect, using the British accent.
Right, laying it on thick.
My colleague who was standing by the doorway, which leads down to the stairs leading down, felt what he described as a rush of wind. He said it felt like 50 hairdryers being turned on at the same moment. He felt this air breeze past him, which is quite strange because there's not that much airflow in the building. You don't really get that much amount of dust that's flying around.
Right.
So that was a weird thing. I was standing at the far side of the room, and for some reason I'd been stood in this same spot for probably most of the investigation, monitoring my equipment. And for 2 seconds before my colleague reacted, I took a step to the right. And I'm glad I did take that step to the right, because after I made the comment, I suddenly felt my colleague reacted, and afterwards we discussed, and he said what he reacted to. I then reacted a couple of seconds later, and it's like I said, it felt like a massive whoosh of air. And then I felt 2 fists hit me square in the chest. And I'm not a particularly small lad.
No.
I'm quite chunky. I'm a chunky monkey, as they call it in the UK.
Right.
But this thing nearly knocked me off my feet, up against the wall. But if I hadn't taken that step to the right, a couple of seconds before, I'd have been down the lift shaft.
Wow. And so, I mean, this is an attack. This isn't like a love tap or a nudge, right? I mean, this is a punch.
No. This was full on force to the center of my chest.
Yeah. My God. And how do you reckon with that at the time and after?
Well, at the time, I didn't know what was going on. I was out of it for a good 15, 20 minutes. So I didn't know what was going on. The group that we were in sort of were in a bit of a disarray and checking up on me because I couldn't speak. I was completely winded. It was like that cartoon character thing where they hit the wall and then they slowly slide down.
Right.
See the little twitchy birds flying around my head.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was.
Yeah.
Wow. Once my senses started to come back, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So they got me out of the room, and over the years, that particular moment, I said, that's it. I'm not doing the paranormal anymore. And I didn't do anything for about a year and a half. Went away from the field.
Yeah.
And then I got this strange phone call from some American gentleman saying, which I'm sorry to say, I did hang up a couple of times because I thought it was a wind-up, but I got to speak to you.
It wasn't a wind-up. It was me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm quite glad you pulled back. And obviously then we discussed it, and the guys came over to do their 2012 investigation.
God, it was that long ago, wasn't it?
And the Hellfire tags.
I know. I remember. You know, it's funny, Carl. I've been working on Ghost Adventures for 12 years now. And I met someone, maybe in their early 20s, right? And he said, oh, God, I love Ghost Adventures. I've been watching that since I was a kid. God, I felt old. I was like...
Well, to be just honest, I was like, got this phone call, and I kind of knew who you were at that particular moment in time.
Yeah.
Sorry to deflate your balloon.
No.
But I was like, okay. But then they said, oh, can you come and do a 15-minute interview at the fort? And I went, yeah, it's like 5 minutes down the road.
Sure.
And I ended up being with the guys for 2 days, and Zach, as Zach does, decided we'll bring him on the lockdown and concentrate on the activity around the people, not the venue.
Let's see if we can get Carl hit again.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that was it. Because what you don't see on the actual show itself, when I'm in the room, which has sort of been nicknamed Carl's room or the hanging room, because there is a report of somebody being hanged there, but there's no information confirming that, but they do believe somebody hung themselves in that room.
Right.
So they've sort of nicknamed it my room or the Carl's room. What you don't see on the show is I'm there with Aaron on the spirit box, and it's going, hey Carl, which you see on the show, and then it's coming out with all that, and then it says Aaron leave. And literally, this is the first time I've been back in that room since that moment. And Aaron hands me the spirit box and then leaves me in front of a camera.
To be fair, Carl, in the notes I wrote, Carl Hutchinson could be good bait. So might be my fault.
Yeah. I'll be taking that up with you next time I see you. But yeah,
sounds good.
I was in there for about an hour and a half, and the spirit box was talking all sorts of weird and wonderful things.
I love it.
And when Aaron eventually came up to get me, and Zach was hearing all these noises down, because he was probably 25, 30 feet below us and probably 500 meters away from us down in one of the Caponian areas.
Yeah.
And he was hearing these noises, and he thought it was me and Aaron in the room. So he comes sprinting up, and anybody that's been a Fort Halstead that's been down to the Caponian will know that it's like 50, 60 steps down, running along an underground corridor, then 50, 60 steps up, around the fort to this room, and then up steps which are not EU regulation. They're called suicide steps, because each of the steps is a different height and width.
It measures you up, doesn't it?
Precaution.
Yeah.
It's a sort of a precaution that they did if the fort was ever raided, people would expect the steps to be the same, but they're not, so people would then trip and fall.
Right.
So
Brilliant.
he comes running in, and yeah, crazy thing. And kind of got my passion going again for the paranormal,
and here we are.
As I say in the world, the rest is history.
And now the pinnacle of your paranormal career, you're calling in the speakeasy.
Well, I've been trying to call in the speakeasy, but I finally worked out what I was doing wrong.
Oh, it's +1 for the US. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
My bad. Country codes +1.
Yeah, it didn't work for a few times, but I'm glad I got to speak to you, because not being able to actually hang out with you in person on any things. So.
And we'll make it happen again as soon as the world allows travel. And if
yes, exactly.
If European countries don't,
I just want to say, please keep doing these speakeasies, because me personally, it's a rock. It's interaction with my friends, my people I care about a lot, and what you do and what Greg Lawson does and the other guys that are doing what they do, particularly you kept me going through. Obviously, I've been on lockdown since February.
Yeah.
When I got back from New Orleans, and you have kept me kind of sane. I've never been completely sane, but
I'm not a miracle worker, Carl. No miracles here, but thank you. I appreciate that, and that's really kind.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean, sir.
I know. Thank you, Carl. I appreciate that, buddy. Hey,
no problem. And everybody enjoy New England Legends. Go and subscribe. It's a great podcast.
Thank you, love. You take care. All right.
No worries. Talk soon, mate.
All right. Good talk. Thanks. Oh, Carl, good to talk to you. Good to talk to you. All right, let's open those lines back up. Yeah, if you're calling from overseas, +1 is the country code for the U.S. And then 617-444-9683. The lines are open again if someone else wants to try. I know I had to hang up on someone because I was like, it's the UK. That's pretty long distance. I should take it, So, yeah, go ahead. Oh, Sarah said, you don't think I'd understand your accent. Sarah, I'll tell you about the Skeared Mountain Inn in Wales if you call. I just will. Anyway, let's see who's calling. Who do we got here? Hello from the 313. What's going on? Where are you from? What's your name?
I am from Michigan. Yes. How are you?
You're from Michigan. So for my friends who aren't from Michigan, I'm going to show them on the screen how you say where you're from. Sorry. I had to. Hold on. Call back later. 404. I'm sorry. So in Michigan, they hold up their hand, and that's the glove, right? And they say, I'm from here, and they point. And if you're from the UP, you got to put the other hand up top. So you're from Michigan. How are you?
I'm fine. How about you?
Oh, hanging in there.
I really appreciate you doing these speakeasies. It's been awesome. It's been getting us through some difficult times. So it's awesome to be able to see these and interact.
Well, thank you. I missed your name. Please tell me. I went right by me.
Oh, that's okay. I'm Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
From Michigan.
Tracy, thank you. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for the kind words. And I've been to Michigan a lot, but my goodness, everything seems to be canceled. So I don't know when I'll be back just yet.
I know. I'm bummed. I'm bummed about the Michigan Paracon. It's the right thing to do.
It is. It is. So tell me your story. What do you got?
So I've had a couple of experiences, but one, my now husband and I and his best friend were living in a old farmhouse that had been converted into 2 flats, an upstairs and a downstairs flat. And in the downstairs flat, we had several experiences there, all 3 of us, and all at different times. And one time we were playing cards. We were in the kitchen, and the 3 of us were playing cards, and all of a sudden we're like, man, it's hot. And so we went out and checked the thermostat, and we realized that it had been turned up to 80 degrees. And we're all like, who turned it up to 80 degrees? None of us would have done it.
And what time of year was this?
This was like the fall.
Okay.
So, I mean, it wasn't needed to be up at that temperature. It was like late fall.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, we turn it back down, and then we go back to play cards. And a little while later, it starts to get really hot again. So, and it's not an automated, like, electronic thermostat that you see nowadays. It's one of those old school ones where you had to move the little lever.
Yeah,
and it's back to over 80 degrees again.
Huh.
And we're like, what is going on? And so like we had this little battle with it, and we'd already had some experiences. So we're like, what is going on with this? So later on that night, we're like, okay, whatever. We turned it like all the way down. We went to bed, get up the next morning, and we're all adults. And underneath the thermostat is blue highlighter scribbled underneath like child height,
Whoa.
like a 2-year-old height. So I ended up having to clean up after whatever that was.
And there's no kids in the house? Like no children?
No, we have no children
Wow.
or anything. But I mean, it was just scribbled on the wall. And like we had lots of like little things that happened. It was a 2-bedroom flat.
Right.
And we ended up getting a cat at one point in time. And we were always kind of creeped out by our roommate's room. And when we had this cat, she would never go into that room. She would go into our room. She would go into the bathroom. She would go everywhere else in the house.
Right.
She would never walk into his room.
Huh.
And we're like, those animals know. Those animals really know.
I know, like they're looking in the corner, right? They're just like, and you're like, what are you looking at? And there's nothing there, and they're just looking. Dude, it's weird, isn't it?
I was sitting the way the room's faced one night. I was sitting watching TV, and I saw something run that was short, like the height of whatever that was scribbled on the wall, run really quick from our roommate's room into our room.
Oh, that's creepy.
And I was like, what is that? And so like my husband and I, well then boyfriend, we got up and we're like looking, and there's nothing there. Nothing at all.
Wow, that's so cool. Thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate it. It's definitely a little bit creepy, and I'm going to be watching for knee-high critters now. Thanks for that.
And watch for your thermostat. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thank you. You have a great night.
So, you too.
All right, talk to you. All right, let's open up the phone lines again. Are you really going to call from Wales? That would be amazing, Sarah. You should do that. I can hang with the Welsh accent. The funny thing about the Welsh is that their words are like 800 letters long. I worked on a story for my very first book, The World's Most Haunted Places, and Skeared Mountain Inn, which is a great Welsh story like that. Could be the oldest continually operating tavern in the UK, which I know my UK friends are going, oh, it's such and such, and it's this and that. I think like 10 places lay claim to that, but this has been a tavern for centuries and centuries, public hangings, all kinds of great stories. And I mean, if you look at the names of the towns, it's literally like 27 letters long. And when a dumb American like me is trying to type it out and get it right in the book, like you got to check those spellings like 37 times. So yeah. And Crystal's watching GA. There must be some repeats going on right now. Cool. Thanks for watching Ghost Adventures. Appreciate it. And Carl, you've been to the Scared, I bet. And John has that book. Thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right, let's see who's calling. +44, another UK call. Hello from the UK. What's your name? Where are you from?
Type it out and get it right.
You've got to turn down the computer, turn down the sound, because you're going to get feedback. Echo. What? Hello. Is this Sarah?
It's not.
It's not.
Vivian.
Oh, Vivian.
From the UK. I'm calling from the UK, but not Wales.
Okay, where are you? Are you in England, or where are you?
I am from England. I come from London, but living in Cambridgeshire.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to the Speakeasy. Thanks for calling, Vivian.
No, thank you for taking my call.
Of course. What's on your mind?
Well, I have a question,
Sure.
and it sort of answers Jeff's question that he's asking other people. Now, when the paranormal becomes, hey, now this is strange, I've been on a very extreme haunting case for the past 3.5 years. And I witnessed with my own eyes blood manifesting on somebody's face, their face dropping, speaking in a language that I couldn't understand.
Was it Welsh?
I'm
sorry.
Having the strength to throw two men 4 foot in the air.
Yikes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So it was a couple of questions like, has he known this to actually happen to people? Because I've experienced it. And we don't know how to clear this house. We don't know. We've even gone to the church. We've had exorcisms. We've had mediums. We've gone through everything. Now, this is so extreme that family moved out for 3 months and it followed them.
Well, so that comes to the big question, right? Like, are people haunted, or is it places, right?
Well, I've, as a paranormal investigator there, I experienced during the daytime.
Yeah. Well, I
3
mean,
cats.
I don't think
3
daytime
cats.
or nighttime matters all that much, right? I mean,
No, it was 3 cats. Now, they were cats, normal house pet cats,
right.
sitting on the very end fence of the property,
Mm-hmm.
barking like dogs.
This
We've
is freaky.
had photographs. We got photographs of what I can only describe as a horse with
Yeah.
a knight, with a like a Templar knight with his armor on.
Yeah.
We caught that the day before the incident when this guy had. I can only explain what I can describe. What I saw was like he'd had a sword in the face.
Yeah.
And it had opened wound and blood just pouring from it. Now that's what this guy had, and it was only after we did the photograph reviews that we saw that and made the connection with the two. We got a Catholic priest ordained by the Vatican. Now, we had to go through a lot of red tape to get in there. There's only 2 in this country. We had to write reports, send photographs, film footages, go and be interviewed by him before he would come to the house.
Right.
He did. He does like an investigation. He goes to talk to the people there, and he agreed to do an exorcism. Did it there and then, and the activity in that house escalated like 1,000,000%. That they wouldn't have him back to do any, because he said that he would have to come back, and they after he did what they did, they said no. It's that extreme.
Wow, what a case.
It's bigger than the Enfield haunting, I'm telling you that now. I personally stayed there.
Yeah.
I got pulled out of the bed by my elbow. One of my fellow investigators got dragged out of the bed, completely out of the bed by his feet. We hear running in the loft. The house cracks, like you hear a big crack.
Yeah.
And something fall down and drop onto the kitchen floor, like somebody jumped down, but there's nothing there.
Right.
Oh my God, this house is amazing and scary at the same time.
When's the last time you were there? I mean, how recent is this?
It's going on today. It still happens today.
Wow.
It goes through peaks and troughs. They have UFO phenomena there as well. I've witnessed that, as well as this extreme haunting. The house has got a lot of history. It's got a well. It's one of the wells to the pilgrimage to the 6 wells. They've got one of them on the way to Newstead Abbey there.
Wow.
They're absolutely terrified. I mean, they've had a psychiatrist come to the house because he had to have a psychiatrist look at him.
Yeah.
And he had to have this write-up. But he came to the house, and they made him a cup of tea, sat down. He was there. He heard the running up and down the roof, on the inside loft.
Right.
Heard the scratching on the walls, the woman singing. He made an excuse, got up and left, and didn't even finish his tea.
Not finish his tea. He couldn't be British. So what's interesting to me is you said when the family went to another home to stay for a while, it followed them.
Yeah.
Was it just as intense at the other home, or was it less so?
It's just as bad. I mean, they had, they go, this is how crazy it is. They've been out shopping. They go shopping.
Right.
And the lady's got Parkinson's. And so she had a bad day that day. So the husband went into the store to do his shopping. And while she's sitting in the car park, the thing attacked the car in the car park while she was sitting in it.
Oh, my God.
The car, I was there and oh my God, you're going to think I'm crazy. They drove the car. They've got an old Mercedes, a beautiful looking car.
Mm-hmm.
He drove it out of the car, out of the garage. It was on the drive. People got in the car and you could hear like something land on top of the car, then thud, 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 like it was being hit with pipe. And it was like, oh my God, what's that? Got out, looked around the car, nothing there. No damage on the car, nothing. And it wasn't the car that was faulty either.
Wow. This sounds like
experienced that.
Quite a case. My God.
If I've gone to, sorry, I don't know who you are. I've gone
Why'd you call?
I've spoken to, I've tried to find experts in the field in the UK. I've gone to the church. I've gone to the creme de la creme of both paranormal investigators, if you like, mediums. No one can help this family. Now I'm turning to the state. We need somebody here. It is affecting their health, and I feel that this gentleman is not well. He will die. It will kill him.
My goodness.
I honestly, my hand on my heart, I am not a crazy woman ringing up, seeking attention.
No, I get it. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, and you hear cases like this rarely. I mean, I remember, the Amityville house. I interviewed George Lutz about his experiences, and I mean, it's boy, this definitely sounds extreme. You can email me through my website. It's jeffbelanger.com, and I can see what I can do about trying to connect you. Either with a resource in the UK or someone over here that might be able to.
I've looked everywhere. I've had parapsychologists in there from the UK, top-notch ones as well. Mm-hmm. They couldn't do anything, can't explain nothing, and they made excuses and left. We've had paranormal investigators there. A lot of them, and I'm not being harsh here. I'm thinking of the poor couple that's experiencing this.
Yeah.
All they're interested in is getting in on the case, do an investigation, experience something, oh, sorry, can't help you, then leave. So that's a waste of time going down that route.
Sure.
We need someone that can actually help, actually put some good in it. We've even been to the church, and that hasn't helped.
No, and I have to tell you this, too. In my experience, Vivian, there's no magic pill that fixes this stuff. And anyone who tells you otherwise is selling you something, right? I mean, I mean, I've known world-renowned psychics that are like, I cleared it. Yeah. And then it's back in 2 weeks, right? I mean, or it's back in 2 days even. It doesn't matter. If there was a catch-all solution, then believe me, I think it would be out there. So the reality is...
The other problem we have is people want to go there because they want to get in on the action, and it creates a buzz. And if they had, this is why we haven't even gone to if we go to the press, oh my God, the world will go, they would all descend upon this one particular house. And having that crowd of people around them, that would kill them, because they are elderly, they're very middle class, they don't believe in all this sort of thing. He was a police officer and a military police officer, these sort of things don't happen till it started happening there.
Right.
And he tries to look at everything with a rational eye. And even when things are happening to him and he's being locked in a toilet, or he can't get out of it for 2.5 hours, stupid things have happened around the house. I've been there with an open mind to do reports so they can take it to their psychiatrist, to the hospital, to get the psychiatrist there. And then we did it for the church, which we've just tried everything that we possibly can. But we need somebody that's been in that field, that's not in for it for the fame and the fortune, to actually go there, physically experience what we all have, and say, right, this is what it could be. I mean, we've seen a sticky kind of residue appear on walls. Mm-hmm. When the blood manifested on this poor guy's face, I mean, when the ordeal was all said and done, it was awful. 2.5 hours of sheer hell.
My goodness.
We threw him a towel and said, wipe that blood and snot off your face.
Right.
And when he wiped his face, there was no blood on the towel. There was no blood on his face, like it's never been there. But we've all got photographs.
It sounds like an amazing case, and I do feel your plight. I mean, it's I know I've spoken with families too, and it's so complicated, right? These cases, I've so rarely find a case that's purely paranormal, right? Sometimes it's the people are an ingredient in the stew. They always are. Like the people that live there, the people that come in to investigate. You alter the stew when you bring in a new ingredient, and it's not. There's never one solution. There's never one thing. And it's so complicated, and some of these things go on for years and just stop for no explained reason. But I have not found anyone that can just solve things. Not permanently, not for real, right? So but no, Vivian, I appreciate you sharing your call. I want to leave some room for a couple other callers before we have to head off in the sunset.
I'll email you, Jeff. So not a problem. We'll have a chat some other time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for calling, and you have a good night.
No worries, and you take care. And thank you for what you do, and thank you for this that you're doing this evening.
Of course.
God bless you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, you have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Opening the lines again, 617-444-9683, +1 if you're calling from overseas. Yeah, Barbara, it was a cool interview with George Lutz. It was in my second book, Our Haunted Lives, if you want to go check that out. There's the call-in number if you're looking for it. Yeah, boy, I appreciate you guys calling. Really interesting. A lot of investigators tonight. UK calls. How cool is that? Calling from the other side of the pond. And it's late over there. You folks are staying up late to chat with us. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you guys. I'm planning to go back to the UK in the summer of 2021. And all right, this is... Oh, sorry, I can only take one of you. Hello from the 774 area code. What's your name? Where are you from?
Hey, it's John Gately.
John Gately, good to talk to you again, man. What's going on?
Hey, good to talk to you. Yeah, I just wanted to change things up a little bit.
Sure.
Just want to talk about my first encounter with a UFO, actually.
Ooh, where was it? What happened?
Well, I was at... Yeah, wow. I was outside my local movie theater.
Okay.
Actually. You know, I just... oddly enough, I had just seen... the Steven Spielberg, Tom Cruise movie, War of the Worlds.
Right.
And so, I was a little tired. I sat down, just, waiting for my ride to come pick me up. And it was about, it was like the summertime. So this was like, 2005.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I look up into the sky and I see what I can best describe it as like a floating cross. Like, it was golden yellow, and it took the shape of a cross. And, this was a clear night, there was really no need for this.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it as it travels down like this, almost like a straight path.
Mm-hmm.
And then, the best way to describe it is, there was a tree about as skinny as one of the trees on the, background behind you.
Right.
Yeah. So it disappeared right behind the tree.
Huh.
And, I'm just like, so I get up, I'm looking, and I'm just like, where is this thing? Because it was, this was a really skinny tree, so it should have been passed right through.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like, I think that might have been a UFO.
Did anyone else see it? Was anyone else around that you could be like, hey, do you see that?
Yeah, no, actually, oddly enough, it was just myself.
Right.
And and the weird thing though is like a few weeks earlier, after the release of War of the Worlds,
yep.
My local newspaper had ran articles about people in the area who had seen UFOs.
And were you part of that?
No, actually, I wasn't. This happened afterwards.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like I thought, was it my mind, tricking me?
I don't know, man. That's the thing, right? Like, and yeah, you had just seen that movie, so obviously the topic's on your mind. But I don't know. Like, you have to be the judge of that. It's your experience. You were the one that was there. You know your mind, body, and soul better than anyone, and you know what you should see in the sky and what you shouldn't. So sometimes, man, just weird stuff happens, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like my brother came pick me up. I told him what happened.
Yeah.
He kind of had a chuckle over it. Considering I had just seen War of the Worlds. So
right. Right. If you had seen Titanic, maybe it would have made more sense, right?
Yeah. Right.
I don't know. Very cool, man, John. I love it. We only have a couple minutes left, but thank you for sharing a UFO story, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, you take care. Have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks.
All right, so let's open up the lines. I know Sarah's trying to call from Wales. We've never had a Welsh caller. This would be amazing. They're open again, 617-444-9683, +1. If you're calling from Wales, Sarah said, I'll try now. Let's see if she gets through. I love this. I love the stories that you guys are sharing, the experiences, the stuff that's kind of shaken you up or left a mark, if nothing else, right? Because we are the sum total of our scars. Right? It's one thing to get through unscathed, but when you get a scar is stronger than all the skin around it. A scar is stronger than you ever would have been had you not gotten it. And I think that we should embrace our scars. We should wear them proudly. And so thank you for sharing them tonight. This is the, all right, we'll take this one real quick. Sarah, are you trying? All right, we'll grab this one from the 404 area code. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Kate. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
Hey, Kate from Atlanta, Georgia. What's
Hi.
on your mind?
So I wanted to tell you about my first experience because I've had a bunch of them over the years, but this one still puzzles me even almost 30 years later.
Kate, you're not originally from Atlanta, Georgia. What accent am I hearing a faint trace of?
Actually, I am a native of Atlanta. I was born
Really?
in Piedmont Hospital.
I would have guessed almost up to New Jersey, but forgive me. I thought I heard something.
Okay.
Never mind. You go ahead. Continue the story.
You're actually not the first person to say that. So,
All right.
so I was about 6 or 7 when I woke up in the middle of the night for who knows what reason, and I saw a glowing white full body apparition standing right next to my bed, and I got no sense of fear from it or towards it, and I then rolled over and fell back asleep. I tried to tell my parents about it the next day, and they told me I must have been dreaming. They didn't believe me. And then I went to Spain about 10 years ago and was told by somebody that we befriended that I actually had a person from a past life who was watching over me.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's who it was or what, but it's something that I've been puzzled about since it happened.
And have you had an experience like that ever again? Like where you've seen it?
I haven't seen it, but I've had a feeling that I had somebody with me. But I have seen other apparitions. Like I was also almost tripped up at the Pirate's House.
Oh yeah, in Savannah, yeah.
By a hand reaching out to grab my ankle. So I mean, I've seen other things, but nothing that looks like this. Yeah,
the Pirate's House, haunted by, of course. Who's the ghost from Treasure Island?
I can never remember the name. But he's the one that gives the map at the very beginning of Treasure Island.
Right. Right. God, I forget. I feel terrible because I even wrote a chapter about it in one of my books. But great haunted town, great story. Thank you for sharing that because it's not always scary, is it?
It isn't. I mean, sometimes it's puzzling, and it's actually what got me started in my interest in the paranormal.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing that story tonight. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for taking the call.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. Let's see if we can get Sarah in. Everybody, unless you're from Wales, let's see if we can get Sarah in. Come on. Long John Silver. No, I don't think it was Long John Silver. It wasn't that. +1 617 444 9683. Can we get Sarah in from the UK? Can everyone else hold off for a second, see if we can squeeze her in these last couple of minutes? Because I want to hear a Welsh accent, and maybe we can get her to speak in Welsh because it's amazing. There's it's like a song lyric from Lord of the Rings or something. It's incredible. I don't want to oversell it. Call now, Sarah. Tim says everybody's rooting for you. Sarah in Wales, you've got this. Nicole wants to know if I could live in any time period, which one? I would pick right now, even 2020, even as the dumpster fire this year has been so far, I would still pick right now. Because I don't know, I'm a man for my time, aren't I? I don't know if I would fit in anywhere else. I'd love to visit, that's for sure. I'd love to visit like the Civil War era. I'd love to visit medieval times just to maybe stay for the afternoon. But as far as live, I'm gonna stay right here, right now. It just reminds me of a song. Should I play the didgeridoo while we wait for Sarah to call? Little musical interlude. Didn't go as well as I would have thought. Ugh. Anyway, all right, maybe we're not going to get Sarah in, but we could try. Let's see, maybe she's dialing right now. I know you guys are letting her. You guys have been so good. Oh, it says it's restricted. Son of a gun. Poor Sarah. I'm sorry. All right, anyone else want to get in one more call? 617-444-9683. Quick story, quick, because we got to ride off into the sunset. Sarah, I'm not singing tonight. Tracy, I'm not going to sing tonight. But that's okay. Sarah, thanks for trying. I would have loved to hear your Welsh accent and your Welsh stories, but you're welcome, Raylene. That's it. Please don't ever do that again. Wow, you guys are a tough crowd, man. You guys are really a tough crowd, but that's all right. So anyway, I've enjoyed hearing your stories tonight. It's been fun. We did this once before, and I want to do it again because it's my favorite. All right, this is the last one. We're gonna take one more call. Who do we got? Hold on. From the 662, who are you?
I am Melissa Brock from Mississippi.
Mississippi, MISSISS, and all that other stuff. Hello, Melissa.
A bunch of them.
Yeah. What's going on in Mississippi?
Well, not a lot here, just hot.
Yeah, right on. Tell me a story.
Well, I'm going to tell you my experience. We went to Tracy City this past Saturday for a paranormal investigation of 4 locations. The mayor opened up the whole town for us.
Okay.
So, and we went into the bakery. It was the last stop that night. We had several experiences that day, but nothing really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we all got in there, and we ended up in the second room, and everybody's getting ready to sit down, they're getting their equipment out and all this stuff. And I was going to put a cat ball down in an area that's really highly trafficked, and I thought I seen a shadow out of the corner of my eye. And so I stood up, and I had my camera, and I was fixing to take a picture, and I was going to let everybody know, there was going to be a flash. And there's like a baker's rack sitting right there on the wall, and it had a whole bunch of stuff stacked on it.
Right.
And it had some like drink containers, that you put your cups in, like at McDonald's and stuff like that.
Sure.
And it comes flying off the shelf right at me. And I didn't take a picture or anything. I kind of did what they say on TV. I just froze because you're staring at this rack and you're watching. They didn't fall off. They flew off so hard and hit my feet that everybody thought somebody dropped something or knocked something off the shelf or something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And what do you think at this point?
There's nobody in that area. I have a picture. I snapped a picture after it happened. There's nobody there, nothing. There was a door right beside it. And that's where I thought I'd seen a shadow out of the corner of my eye. And it just comes flying off, and it landed right at my feet.
Wow. And do you think it was targeting you? Do you feel like you were threatened?
Honestly, I think we caught it off guard because we were in the other room, which is kind of walled off. There's just the door into that room, and we wasn't getting no activity there. We kept hearing noises in that room, and one of the guys that had a spirit box on, he turns it off. He goes, "Okay, if you will make a noise, we will come to you." He didn't say make the noise if you want me to come to you.
Right.
He just said, if you will make a noise, we will come where you're at. And we heard the noise in there again. So, of course, we all jump in there and run. And to me, it kind of felt like we startled him or like he wasn't expecting us to be there, because after that, I don't know why I asked the question, and somebody got it on recording. Unfortunately, I didn't get it. I didn't have my stuff on. But after that, we asked several questions. Then I said, something like, did we scare you? Did we startle you? Was you not expecting us to come in there? And everybody heard a man say yes.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. With their own ears.
That is really cool.
Yeah, so it's because that's what I felt like. I just felt like we caught him off guard, like he wasn't expecting me to be standing there, because I was the only person that walked between those 2 little cases or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I was going to just set my cat ball down there. And I just felt like I kind of startled him or something. But yeah, they come flying off the shelf at me and landed right at my feet.
Wow.
It didn't hit me. It just landed at my feet. And I just did what they said on TV. It was kind of fun. The first time I ever seen anything like move. I've had my backpack tugged on and stuff like that, little stuff. And while we were in the graveyard right before that, I had turned my Oculus on, and we were asking questions and this stuff, and I kept getting cat and kitty and follow. And I said, I don't know where you want me to follow you to. I can't see you. We're in the dark. Tell me something else. And then we got the word tickle. And I was like, oh, Lord, somebody's fixing to be tickled. And this girl thought she got poked in the side like somebody had goosed her.
Right.
So, yeah, that was it was pretty wild that night, but it was in Tracy City. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate it. You're right up near the end, but thanks so much. Keep investigating, keep asking questions, and we'll do this again sometime.
I will. Thank you.
All right. You have a great night. Bye-bye. So thank you guys. Boy, this was fun. I love it. Yeah, musical instruments. So I brought the guitar too, but there's I don't think there's time. Another time we'll all write a country song together or something like that. Hey, I appreciate you guys calling in. We will do these again. This was fun. This was the last time I did it. I really enjoyed this because I love hearing from you guys. I love when you share your stories, and we should definitely do this. Maybe make it a regular thing, a little parashare going on, and that's cool. So hey, until next time, guys, please take care of each other. Please be kind to each other. Please take care of yourselves. Please keep asking questions. Please keep sharing your stories because it's really important. When we share stories, we connect. And when we connect, we're bonding over something important and something real, right? We're not arguing on Facebook about politics or sports or anything stupid. We're just connecting about real human stuff. And I love that. We need that. We need more of this. So you keep doing it. You share your story with everyone that'll listen. And please, oh, please, until next time, you all just take it easy, all right? I'll see you Friday.